What is golden, y'all? It's Brian back with a Monday live stream. I haven't done one of these in a while, and a lot of it was I really wanted to dial in who this is for, and that's kind of what today's exercise is about: is who that's for, who this is for. It's going to help you figure that out. Okay, I'm going to have some free resources, so if you're interested, I have one of them actually up on the screen now. I think it's my your first 75 videos. These is a free resource that I have. Helps you generally come up with the idea of your first 75 content topics for business owners. If you want to go ahead and get access to that, it's one of the many free resources that I have available on the site. I don't hold anything back, and so if you're talking to me, you're going to get it. Okay. Um, and so we'll start letting people kind of filter in here, and we're going to start powering through this. Okay. Um, I wanted to go back to some good old basic marketing stuff because I know we've talked a lot about video, but the video is useless without a strategy, right? And we create the videos because it allows us to leverage some of the systems that are in place to drive eyeballs and clients to our products and services, right? Because at the end of the day, that's what's really important is getting in touch with the people that matter most with you and that are going to put money in your pocket. I did a video you guys are going to be seeing probably in the next day or two about just some musings I have on how I think a lot of content in these spaces on YouTube and things along those lines, specifically when it talks about posting content on social media, is more aligned with people that want to be influencers. People that see these influencers living their lavish lifestyles or whatnot, and they want a slice of that life. And so it's not necessarily designed or calibrated for the success of business owners. Right. And one thing I'm actually working on in terms of my delivery is I can get a little bit verbose and throw out some big $5 words. And so I'm trying to dial that back. A lot of the stuff you see on social media isn't designed for business owners to make money. It's designed for content creators, people that want to be influencers or whatnot to have success. And because of that, you have a lot of people that really want to make money, that really want to use social media to drive money to their businesses. They're doing a lot of influencer stuff. And what I mean by that is influencer stuff is like doing the latest dances with latest trends, a lot of stuff about memes and things. And that is good to stop the scroll. But you got to be strategic in the way that you use it because if that's all you're putting out there is stop the scroll kind of content and you're not providing any value, then you're not doing anybody any service and you're not really driving business. You are just another person out there posting content. At the end of the day, the business owner is driven by wanting to um, link up with a client who's going to put money in their pocket. That's what's more important than anything else for a business owner who's creating content. Hey, how's it going, man? Thanks for tuning in. Um, and so the business owner is going to create content in a different way than like your simple influencer who's out chasing a brand deal or whatnot. And if you guys are interested, I can kind of give you the scoop on how a lot of people are making money behind the scenes. Um, you know, Not from a business owner standpoint, but from the content creation standpoint. But we're talking about, for me, I'd rather have an audience of people that's aligned with me, a small audience of people that is aligned with me and messes with me, and maximize that small audience as opposed to have millions and millions of people following me, and they're not necessarily aligned with my business goals or dreams or aspirations. So let's just put that out there. All right. So we're gonna get into the topic. Like I said, if you want a free resource, you can go ahead and scan the QR code at the top. It gives you your first 75 video topics. If you're going to get out there and start doing the thing. I also am going to have another one I'm going to put on the screen, which is the Good Enough Media Room audit, and it allows you to really gauge what you currently work with and figure out a way to use that to make the content you want to make. So instead of having a bunch of fancy cameras and gear and stuff, it's going to take stock of what you have and what your skills are. So that's what I got. Okay. Um, Early last week I dropped a video about the dangers, or last week I recorded a video about the dangers of chasing virality, and so you're going to see that later on. Um, it's a distraction, and it's not actually what builds business. Locking in beats going wide every single time. And unfortunately, when you have people playing the viral game, that's really what they're selling you. They're selling you attention. Um, they're selling you attention without necessarily um, putting any intent behind that attention. And unfortunately, a lot of the business owners that I've served, as a strategist, as a video marketing consultant, even as a videographer, nobody's ever sat down and talked to them and said, "Hey, let's do a video that draws in this specific type of client." More times than not, is let's make a video to go on your website. Let's make a video to go on your social media feed. And there's not a lot of thought given to why we're making the video or who we're speaking to with that video. And so I wanted to jump on here before we get too far in the weeds and kind of draw the line in the sand and say there's a difference between the way somebody who does this for content and for attention creates content and uses stuff on social media, post stuff on social media, and the way that somebody who is actually trying to make a business, support their employees, support families, and things along those lines, the way that they need to be making content. Okay. I'm not going to rehash. I'm not going to rehash a lot of this stuff. Here's the thing, and this is the bottom line: consistency beats viral every single time. Locking in beats going wide. And so you can be consistent and still be talking to nobody. And you can post every single day and still not get a single client. That's the reality of the game. And more times than not, that's kind of your signal that, yeah, you're getting people to watch, but you're not getting them to take the next step, not getting them to take any action. And I know a lot of it comes from nobody wants to come on social media and be accused of. I'm not. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. I was kind of in my thing, and so hey, I'm actually located in the Midwest, but I work with clients all over the country. Not my intent to ignore you. Thanks for tuning in. So the reality is, you don't want to draw, but like going viral can possibly be one of the worst things to happen to you if you're a small business owner, specifically if you're doing paid ads. The reason why is if you're doing paid ads, like on, let's just use Facebook for example, you're paying $500 a month to Facebook, which isn't a heck of a whole lot of money in Facebook world. For me as a business owner, it's a lot of money, but you got a $500 ad running on Facebook and you have one that goes viral because you haven't really dialed in a message or audience. The thing that does is the video goes viral. You're actually paying for Facebook to send your video and shotgun blast your video out to a lot of people who aren't necessarily aligned with your product, service, or offer. And that sends a signal back to Facebook that that's who needs to see your video. So you're basically telling Facebook, and you're paying Facebook to show your video, show the stuff you've created to the wrong audience, to people that aren't going to buy from you. Sometimes people don't even like you. I mean, they're not aligned with anything that you're offering, but you go viral and you bring in a lot of those people, and it hurts you because it's a compounding effect. The more people that you drive traffic to your Facebook pixel, the more signals it gets, the more it tries to learn your audience. And if you feed it bad information on the front end, it's going to give you audiences that don't match up to what you want, and it's going to be a thing that just devours your money. And I'm telling you from experience because it takes a couple of $1,000s to learn some pretty hard lessons about how to pay for ads. And I've done it. I've been there where I've made ads that didn't necessarily go anywhere. And I spent a lot of money doing it. And I've had ads that went absolutely insane, locked in and got me the right kind of people and made a whole lot of money. And I spent less than $100 on it. It's about what's important to you. Okay. But yeah, going viral is a bad thing. On social media, if you're running a business, if your audience isn't dialed in. Now, if you go viral within a group of people that are going to do business with you, then you might as well go buy the winning lottery ticket today, because you have hit the jackpot. More times than not, it takes a little bit of trial and error to figure that piece out. And when I mean a little bit of trial and error, especially when it comes to Google ads or Facebook ads, I'm trying to save you guys maybe about a $20,000 learning curve. If $20,000 isn't a lot of money to you, drop it in the chat. If it is, and if it's not a lot of money to you, then I will post my link, for like my to one of my one of my money collection things to my Stripe account, and you can send that $20,000 to me if it's not a lot of money. $20,000 ain't a lot of money to you, then drop, let me know in the chat. Maybe we could talk offline. But um, I'm trying to save y'all a $20,000 learning curve when it comes to building ads and buying ads on social media. And most of that comes from dialing in your audience. This is called what I've called my client avatar. Other people call it client avatar. Other business and other marketers have different names for it. Basically, the client avatar is the person that is your ideal client, your dream client, the person that will buy from you. And they're not too terribly, they're not shopping you or anything. You meet every need and you check every single box. Right. So we're going to do two things today. First, we're going to follow up on last week's assignment, and talk about if you've watched your one video question back, and then I kind of want to hear from you if you have. If not, and I don't know if anybody haven't gotten the fact that anybody's done that. So I think we're going to go and do a live exercise and talk about a client avatar. And like I said, a client avatar is your who. This is who you are talking to. This is your specific target audience. And it seems stupid on the front end, but I'm telling you, this will save you a lot of money once you start getting into making ads or having somebody or paying somebody to make ads for you. Okay. So that's kind of what we're doing. I'm gonna skip last week's follow-up. I'm gonna do that inside my Skool community. I do have a Skool community where I basically teach business owners how to start recording themselves. And so we do a lot of, I got homework assignments, I've got courses and all kinds of other stuff within that. But if you got any direct questions about getting started recording yourself, drop them in the chat. I don't hold anything back on these live streams. Okay. So I'm gonna skip this part and get into the virality. We're gonna talk about some virality stuff and then talk about why we need, how to create your client avatar, and that'll be the next exercise. So I'm jumping ahead on my notes, guys, if it looks like I'm struggling here. All right. All right. So we'll do the dual avatar here. Your client avatar, this is who you're talking to. This is the audience that you're trying to engage. As a business owner, this is going to be the people that put money in your pocket that pay you for your product or service. Okay. And a lot of times when we're identifying a client avatar, they're going to live on a certain platform. A lot of times, if you're talking to people around my age or a little bit older, the platforms you're going to catch them on is going to be LinkedIn, Facebook, and you're going to have some YouTube. If you're going with a younger audience, there's going to be a lot of TikTok buyers or Instagram. And so it really depends on where your audience is sitting and what your offer is. Okay. Understand this, and I got to put this out here. People do not go to their Facebook. They do not go to TikTok. They're starting to do it, but they typically don't open their TikTok with the intent to buy anything. And so understand that your message is an interruption in and of itself. And so the signal you need to send to your audience is, hey, this is a thing that you can purchase from me that's going to make your life easier, or it's going to improve your life in some measurable way. It's something I've used or something I've tried, and I think that you'll get some benefit out of it. But more times than not, people aren't going to their social media apps to shop. The places where they go to shop is they're going to open up Google, maybe go to YouTube to do some reviews on products, and then they'll jump into Amazon and whatnot, or whatever sales app they're going to, or they may go directly to a store site to do shopping, but they're not opening up their Instagram or Facebook or TikTok account to do any kind of shopping. Even LinkedIn is kind of having that problem where you have a whole bunch of consultants on LinkedIn, and they're all just trying to cold call each other and sell you stuff. And so I need you to keep that in mind. The content avatar is the person you're talking to in every piece of content you create. And let's pivot away. It's not necessarily your audience. It's not your followers. It's one specific person that you have in mind. This is why I need you to lock in and dial in on specifically the who you're talking to. Okay. This is the who. This is, as they watch your video, you're thinking about what they need to hear next, what the next message is, what questions are popping up in their head. Okay. They know exactly where I'm going with this. Like you're going where they want to go. Okay. This person isn't your client yet. They may become one, but right now they're just watching. They're learning. They're building trust with you. They're trusting you as a voice that can possibly help them. Okay. And so, first things first, we're going to do the content avatar. Okay. First, I want you to pop open whatever notes app you have. Okay. Grab a pen and paper, a sticky note, whatever you got. You're going to build this person right now. And we're going to answer a couple of different questions. It's going to be four. And I'll give you about 30 seconds each. Okay. Question one: what is the one problem your your content avatar is stuck on right now? What is one problem? One specific thing they're thinking about at 11 p.m. when they can't sleep. That's the first question. Question two: what have they already tried that didn't work? What is one solution that they tried or made an attempt, but it didn't let them down. It kind of failed them. Okay. Question three: what does their day look like? Are they a business owner juggling five things? Are they a side hustler with a full-time job? Are you talking about a nonprofit director with no marketing budget? Be specific. Let's think about specifically, narrowly who we're trying to engage and what their day looks like. And question four: what do they believe about themselves? You know, do they believe that, is this something I can create consistently? Do they have, are they thinking, what's the vision? What's the vision for your person? Like, what skills are they bringing to the table? Like, what capacities do they have? What can you help them build? That's your client avatar. That's who you're talking to. Okay. Every video, every post, every caption, that's exactly, you're talking specifically, narrowly to that individual person. Okay. Not everyone, that one person. That is your content avatar. That is who all your content is geared on attracting and speaking directly to. And you could use this even if you're not selling products or services. If you just have a YouTube channel that serves a specific niche, that's who you're talking to. If you're doing comic book stuff like I do sometimes, you're talking to other comic book nerds. You're talking to one specific comic book nerd who aligns with the things you like and dislikes the things you don't like. That's who you're speaking with. Okay. Next, we're going to jump into your paying client avatar. Okay, so we did the content avatar, so that we're going to talk about who buys from you. And so that's the next thing we're going to build. And this is where it gets interesting. Your content avatar and your paying client aren't always the same person. Sometimes somebody may watch you for a number of years before they ever decide to be your client. And you may not be aware that they're watching you. If I had it where people have told me that they've watched stuff for a number of years, but they've never felt like they were in a position to buy. And a lot of times that had to do with not necessarily being clear on the offer, not being clear on what I'm offering. Okay. And that's a me thing. That's feedback for me. But your client avatar, your content avatar, and your paying client avatar, they're not always the same person. Sometimes they overlap, sometimes they don't. And if you don't know the difference, you end up creating a lot of content that builds an audience that never converts. I've lived in this hell and I'm still trying to pull myself out of it. Your paying client avatar is the person who's ready to invest in you. They've already tried to solve the problem on their own. They've spent a lot of money. They consumed a lot of free content. They decided that they need help. They decided that they need you to step in and shortcut their path. That's what I was trying to do earlier, y'all. When I told you I done spent, I could save you $20,000 on creating ads just by you coming up with a specific who in terms of who your content's tailored towards. That's what I'm trying to do here. Okay. I'm trying to save you some time and money. Okay. They've decided that they needed help and they're looking for the right person that they trust. Okay. So we're going to jump into the next exercise. Same format, and it's going to be different 4 questions, but it's going to be 4 questions. Question 1: what is the specific outcome your paying client is trying to achieve? I want you to think about that. What is the one specific outcome that they're paying to achieve? If you own a tire shop, they want tires. I mean, it sounds trite, but that's really what they're looking for. They're not coming for all the other bells and whistles that you want to offer. They're coming for tires. If that's what you're advertising, that's what you got out there, that's what they're specifically coming to you for. The upsells are the upsells, and you may upsell them in other things, but if you lead with tires, that's what they're going to be looking for when they contact you. Okay. It's not a vague goal, it's one specific outcome, a measurable result. Okay. I want to post consistently is just vague. So figure out one specific transformation or result that they're looking for. Okay. So we'll say, I want to post consistently is vague. I want to have 30 days of content recorded and scheduled by the end of the month. That is specific. All right. Question 2, what is the cost of them not solving the problem? I just said it. For some people, it's gonna you need about $10,000-$20,000 of throwing away money on bad ads before you start realizing how to make good ones without any help or without anybody stepping in. You could spend a lot of money on ads, and dump it down the drain. And I'm trying to save you from having to go through that. Okay. So, um, the cost of you not having a client avatar is a couple of $1,000s. It is, regardless of what ad platform you're using for your business. Okay. And so it's not the emotional cost. We don't want to go into the emotional cost. We're talking about the actual business cost. What money are they losing by not coming to you? Okay. Lost revenue, lost clients, lost time. What are they leaving on the table each month they stay stuck? Question 3, what objections do they have right before they decide to buy? What are the objections that they encounter? Okay. Is it they don't have time? Is it I'm not sure I'm ready? Is it I've tried this before and it didn't work? What's the thing standing between them and saying yes? That's the third question. And question 4, what would they say to a friend after the friend what would they say to a friend the day after working with you? Not a testimonial, a real sentence. What transformation did you bring into their world? I finally did this, or I used to do this, or I can't believe I waited so long for that. Finish one of those. What do you want them to say about working with you? Okay. Now I want you to look at both of these things. I want you to look at your content avatar and your client buying avatar. Okay. How close are they? Do they align? Are they same person? If they're super different, that's kind of a signal that your content may not be lining up with the buyers that you want. That means that you need to go back and make sure that you're making content to attract the people that you want to do business with. So it may be attracting people who don't buy it. And so that could be a signal that you're sending the wrong signal to the market and you're attracting a lot of people that aren't interested in doing business with you. And that's another thing that's a red flag. And that could wear you out. If you do enough content that doesn't attract the kind of people that want to do business with you, it feels like you're screaming into the void. Okay. And understand this, sometimes people will see you online and then they'll do business with you in real life. Sometimes there's a gap, but they'll go and consume all the stuff that you made online. They never comment, they never respond, they won't even leave a like. But when they see you, they're like, okay, I want to do business with this person. It's happened to me. Okay. So don't don't feel bad if you're not seeing the likes and the immediate comments and the immediate emails and stuff like that. Sometimes people take a little bit of time. They're not in the place where they're going to make a buying decision. More times than not, when they open up their social media, they ain't ready to buy anyway. And so it takes a little bit of nurturing. But yeah, look at both of those two avatars. Look at both of them and compare them and make sure that they overlap in enough places where it makes sense, where you're making the content that draws in the clients that you want and the clients that you the content aligns with what their needs are. Okay. So, and neither one of them is inherently wrong, but you need to know what situation you're in. Okay. You need to know, if you're not creating content for the people that actually want to invest, or your content isn't necessarily attracting the people who, or is attracting people who won't buy from you. Okay. So it's either they're not ready to invest or you're attracting people who don't want to buy from you. Okay. Here's what matters most for your content. When you chase virality, you're optimizing to the biggest possible audience. Right. That's who you're targeting. Okay. And here's what changes. Um, the one question video, the one I wanted you guys to record last week, I want you to go back and look at it through this lens. Who are you talking to when you're answering that one question that your clients come to you with? Okay. Who were you talking to when you were recording that? Was it your client avatar? Was it your paying client? Was it nobody in specific? If you haven't done business yet, you may not have anybody that's put money in your pocket, so you don't have that market signal. So you're going to have to experiment a little bit with it. So what we're doing is we're actually determining the who, figuring out when we're making videos for business. Okay, well, so this is for business owners. So if you are a business owner, when you're making content for social media, you're not playing the game that a lot of influencers are. Like you're not chasing eyeballs, you're not chasing virality or anything. You're trying to get people to pay you for your service or product or what you're trying to do. And so a lot of times we just kind of blast out messages to big, huge audiences and never sit down and think about specifically who we're talking to. Oh, you're 10. Okay. Hey, listen, here's the thing, and it's up to you, but it if you ever decide that you want to make a career out of the social media thing, you still need to know who you're talking to. And more times than not, they're going to be a person just like you. So if you ever decide to do this or do this seriously, it's information, but it's information you can use. But if not, thanks for tuning in. You can stick around if you want to, but like I said, when I was 10, I was selling candy at my school. I was going like this is a true story. I I got in trouble at my school because me and my friends, we used to have these things called the 99-cent store. You can go there and get a lot what they used to call penny candy. And we would buy a bunch of penny candy for a couple of bucks and then sell it at school for a little bit of a markup. So if I got like, a 5-cent piece of candy, I'd sell it for a quarter or whatnot. And we made a pretty decent little pile of change out of it. But then, I mean, they came down on us like this was like this was a SWAT team or something. Like we were selling something crazy, and it was just candy. They fell down on top of us. And so I get it. I just been doing the sales thing for a long time. It's never too early to start. But yeah, man, they brought us into the office. They set me and my friends down in the office, and it was like sitting down talking to the police. You would think that we were doing something awful, and all I was doing was just selling pieces of gum that I bought from the store. Crazy. So let me go ahead and wrap up because I actually do have to pick my kids up from school too. Um, so when you did, if you recorded, and I last week there was an assignment of record your one video, and that one video was the one question that your clients ask you all the time. And um, yeah, oh yeah, my son actually sells candy now. Be honest with you, he's in 10th grade. He actually sells candy at his school right now. Anyway, so that was the assignment last week. It's record the one question people are always asking you in your business before they do any business with you. All right, take it easy. Thanks for jumping in. Um, so I want you to reevaluate that video and look at it through the lens of those 8 questions that you have, and figure out, is this locked in and specifically talking directly to the specific person I had in mind. Okay. Um, and then we're gonna possibly look at re-recording it. Now, I'm not a big, huge fan of redoing videos over and over again, but I do want to come back to the video that I had people do last week, and say, who were you talking to when you recorded it? Was your content avatar? Was it your paying client? Was nobody in specific? Um, The idea is I want you to look at the video and say, this is for you if, and then describe your client avatar. That one sentence does more targeting than any other algorithm, anything that Facebook can do, anything that YouTube can do, anything that TikTok can do. That's the system. It's knowing who you're talking to, speaking directly to them. And then the algorithm, once you start conditioning the algorithm to understand who your audience is and who does business with you, you're actually educating Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever. You're basically saying, send this kind of person my way because I give them content that they'll engage with. Thank you, Casey. Thanks for liking. I appreciate you. Oh, Cassie, that's what it is. Thanks, Cassie. So, yeah, that's the system. If you know who you're talking to, speak directly to them, and the algorithm will kind of figure out who to serve your video to. But you got to do it consistently enough that you send clear signals to your social media platform. Okay. So here's your assignment for this week. 2 parts. Part 1, I want you to finish both avatars. I want you to finish your content avatar and your paying client avatar. Write them out fully, not bullet points, a paragraph. A real person. You can give them a name. You can give them a job if it helps. Okay. Part 2, I want you to go back to your one question video and add, this is for you if, add that sentence at the beginning and re-record just the beginning, the opening of that video. Hey, this video is for you if, and then you post it. And the person that you're going to list when you say this video is for you if, you're going to list the description of your content avatar or your paying client avatar. Okay. And if you're in the community, if you're in any one of my communities, circle back and let me know. Let me know, repost your video so I can take a look at it. All right. So that's what I want. If you're watching this and you're not in the Skool community, this is what we do all the time. Like, this is what I do all the time, is teaching people different aspects of creating video and content that pays money for them. It used to be called the Content to Cash Machine. Now it's called the Media Room. The Media Room is going to also be the name of the content studio that I'm building. The content studio is going to be the name of the content studio I'm building in Bellevue, Nebraska. And it's going to be designed for business owners to come in and create consistent content and also learn how to make good, engaging content. Okay. But if you're interested and you're not in the Skool community yet, go ahead and jump in. I will post the link or post a QR code for you to get into the Skool community. Let me find it here. Yep. I'll post the link here. And so the Media Room, yep, the Media Room Skool community is open, and it's really just a place for you to come in and learn learn how to actually create content that drives business to you, because there's specific things that you need to do as a business owner that looks a little bit different. Not a lot, but a little bit different. All right. So I'll drop the link here in the chat so you guys can see it. And then I'm gonna wrap up. Not a QR code. We'll drop it in the chat. So I dropped the link to the Skool community in the chat. Go ahead and join if you want to learn how to create content as a business owner. Like I said, this is what I do all the time, y'all. All right. And I don't hold anything back on these live streams. So if you're going to get it here, you're going to get in the community. But being in the community allows me to answer more direct questions and spend a little bit more time with each one. All right. So that's all I got. Links in the chat. Let's focus on getting your content avatar and your client, your paying client avatar. Let's work on getting those together so that you know exactly who you're talking to. It also helps you lock in as a business owner because it informs the rest of your social media content. Whether you're doing video or not, you need to always know who you're talking to at all times when you're posting stuff for your business or product or service. So that's all I got. I do appreciate y'all tuning in. I got to run. I'll talk to y'all later. It's been Brian with the Media Room by I Sell Words. Peace.